Okay, in this video I'm going to go over how to factor an expression, and I'm going to go over a couple examples of distributing and then combining like terms. So here are the examples I'm going over. There's 4 of them. So first let's talk about factoring. Factoring means we're going to take an expression and we're going to convert it into factors, two things that are being multiplied together. So how you do that is you think of what's the greatest number that goes into 24 evenly and also goes into 60 evenly. So let's see, 2 goes into both, 4 goes into both, 6 could work. How about 12? So if we did 12, we would write 12 on the outside of a pair of parentheses, and then we divide both of these terms by 12. 24x divided by 12 is 2x, plus 60 divided by 12 is 5. So the answer would be 12 times 2x plus 5. Now I can do a check to see if this makes sense by saying, okay, what is 12 times 2x? Well, 12 times 2x is 24x. That works. And what's 12 times 5? Well, 12 times 5 is 60. And I should get my original expression. So it works. Now, something you have to be careful of is if you use a number that's not the greatest common factor. For example, if I use the number 6 and I divided the terms by 6, I would have gotten 4x plus 10. And if I look inside the parentheses, I would see that I could still divide both of these terms by 2. So I did factor it, but I didn't factor it completely because I still could divide both these terms by a common number. So this would not be factored completely. So you got to check inside your parentheses to make sure they can't be divided by any other number. So the next example is 24kb plus 11k. Now looking at the numbers, 11 is a prime number, which means the only things I can divide 11 by are itself and 1. So it's almost tempting to write that I cannot factor this. But actually, both of these terms have the letter k as a variable. So I could pull the k out and put it in front of parentheses. Then I could divide both of these terms by k, and k divided by k is just equal to 1, and I'd be left with 24b plus 11. So that could have been factored because they had a variable in common. Okay, I'm just going to go over some examples of how to distribute and then combine like terms. When there's a number touching the parentheses, it's being multiplied by every term inside the parentheses, so you have to distribute it. And here, you're not going to distribute the 4, you're going to distribute the negative 4 to all the terms inside the parentheses. So I'm going to get negative 6r minus 8 minus 8r plus 4t plus 24. Be careful. This is a negative 4 times a negative t, and a negative times a negative is a positive. This is a negative 4 times a negative 6, and a negative times a negative is a positive. All right, then I can combine like terms. I have a negative 6r and a negative 8r, which is a negative 14r. I have a positive 4t. Then I have a negative 8 and a positive 24, which would be a positive 16. Okay, last one. If there's just a subtraction symbol, you're not just subtracting the negative b, you're also subtracting the negative a. So what you do is you turn that subtraction into a negative 1, and you distribute it to all the terms after it. So negative 1 times a negative b is a negative times negative, which is a positive b. And a negative 1 times a negative a is a negative times a negative, which is a positive a, and I'm combining that with my negative a plus b. So let's see, I have a negative a and a positive a. Those are additive inverses and they equal 0, so they kind of go away. And I have a positive b and a positive b, which is just 2b. All right, I hope this was helpful. Please see me if you have any questions. And sorry my voice is like this. I completely lost my voice.